before I start, I wanted to go over the Tyreek Hill situation. Terrible what happened on both sides, honestly. No side was in the right and no side was really in the wrong because they technically both were in the wrong. If you actually watch the body cam footage, the people calling for that cop's head, yeah, they should have done a better job at de-escalating the situation, but also Tyreek Hill was being a little brat. Just give me my ticket. Just give me my ticket. Don't hit my, don't bang on my window. Dude, comply with the police. It's really not a hard concept. I have no idea why he was going. Apparently he was going 120 in a 40-mile-per-hour. So that's probably why they were a little aggressive. He was not complying. He kept rolling up his extremely tinted windows. So anybody saying it's about race just is, in this situation at least, is just straight up not true. But I wanted to go over the games for the week. Let's go over it. Today is game 1, Thursday night football, Bills Dolphins. And I wanted to keep this one a little short. I wanted to keep this whole video a little shorter than usual. So I'm going to go pretty quick. I think the Dolphins will lose at home to the Bills. I think Josh Allen is just like Aaron Rodgers to the Bears. He owns the Dolphins, and the Dolphins just don't scare me. Apparently Mostert's not playing. Who even knows if A-Chain's playing? If they're both not playing, I'm definitely not picking the Dolphins. So the only way the Dolphins win is if the Bills defense, which they very well could, just shit the bed, and then Tua throws for like 400 yards, like he always does. So, but I'm picking the Bills. All right, next up, we have a Sam Darnold revenge game. We have the San Francisco 49ers going into Minnesota. Man, this one, the Vikings definitely surprised last week. I didn't think they were going to play that good. I thought they were going to win. I did pick them to win, but I didn't think they were going to win by that much because I thought they were both bad teams. Sam Darnold looked like one of the best quarterbacks last week, which will not continue. He will look like a pretty bad quarterback against the 49ers. I got the 49ers going in there and beating the Minnesota Vikings, and Sam Darnold does not get his revenge. So we'll see. There's just too many weapons. That defense is good, but even without McCaffrey, Jordan Mason looked like a very good running back. So their reign of week 1 ends in week 2. All right, next up we have the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Patriots. And the Patriots definitely exceeded expectations, but they only won, it was like 16-10 to the Bengals. So I don't think anyone had the Patriots winning that game, but you know, Bengals don't win in week 1. So maybe we should have saw it coming. Just like the Vikings, the Patriots 1-0 season or undefeated season ends here. I got the Seahawks winning. They just have a better team on paper at least. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, JSN. They even have Zach Charbonnet, who had a good game. Geno Smith is like probably one of the most average quarterbacks I've ever seen, but that is going to be enough to beat Jacoby Brissett and the lowly Patriots. That's who I'm going to pick. All right, game of the week, I guess. We have Giants taking on a division rival, and it is the Commanders. My God, why? Honestly, any game besides the Giants-Panthers game, I mean, that one's going to be a little interesting to see who's the worst team in the league. But I think the Giants take that cake. At least the Panthers scored more than 6 points. So I think the Giants are the worst team in the league. You got Daniel Jones, who's still playing like a rookie, and then you have the rookie, Jaden Daniels, on the other side, battling it out. Just not a fun game to watch. That probably won't even show up on Red Zone that much. So I don't even know who to take here. I'm probably going to take the Washington Commanders. They at least scored 20 points. So I'm taking the Commanders because I think Jaden Daniels is already a better quarterback than Daniel Jones. That's just what I'm going to do. I'm taking the Commanders. Give me the Commanders. I think they have a better team also on paper. What was the point of also trading for Brian Burns? I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. What's the point of trading for him when you should be rebuilding, but you're trading for a top pass rusher like you're in win now mode? That made no sense to me. But anyway, next up, Chargers versus Panthers. Now, this is just like the Giants. Whoever gets to play those teams, just no offense, but like it's kind of a free win. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the Chargers. There's really not much more to talk about, especially after the Panthers lost Derek Brown for the season. Not good. Not looking good for Panthers, and I feel really bad for Panthers fans, man. Just absolute chaos, just destruction in their front office. Even their owner is just delusional. Like, oof, man, just every decision they make, I honestly, in my opinion, is just the wrong decision. Even just at the last game, I was talking about Brian Burns. They traded Brian Burns for like a second-round pick when like the year before they were getting offers for 2 first-round picks for Brian Burns, which in my opinion made no sense. So if they made that trade, which they totally should have, whoever that other team was would be looking like an idiot. Hopefully it wasn't the Bears. Probably not, because Ryan Poles is not an idiot. So I'm taking the Chargers. Okay, next up we got Saints Cowboys, probably the 2 best NFC teams that were on display last week. I mean, I don't give that much credit to the Saints because I literally think that they played the Panthers, and the Panthers are by far the worst team in the league. They look atrocious. A junior varsity high school team can probably still beat them. So good on the Saints. Good start. Good for Derek Carr, but it's the Panthers, man. Like I can't give you that much credit. So that's why I'm taking the Cowboys. The Cowboys are the epitome of a regular season team. They for how many years now in a row? They've went 12-5. I think they're going to go probably around that record again this year. Anywhere from probably 10 to 13 wins is probably going to be their record. Just because their run game does scare me, and the Browns they played last week were just not very good. And I don't know, Ezekiel Elliott and Dalvin Cook just don't scare me. But I'm still taking the Cowboys because you are playing against the Saints, and Dennis Allen is currently off the hot seat, at least for now. But after this game, he's going to be back on the hot seat. So I'm going with the Cowboys. All right, Colts versus Packers. We got a good one here if Jordan Love was playing, but he is not playing. That reason alone, I'm going Colts. If Jordan Love was playing, I would probably go Packers. But Malik Willis just doesn't scare me in the slightest. I mean, you've seen slight improvements from him over the last couple years, but just they obviously didn't see that much improvement in Tennessee because they got rid of him after 2 years, and they drafted his replacement after 1 year, which is what Tennessee seems like they just keep doing. They cannot get that quarterback position right, and I'm not even talking about the Titans. I'll talk about them later, but Anthony Richardson is another one that just doesn't scare me. I said it before the season even started. I think he was getting way too much hype around him. He has these amazing explosive plays, 60, 70-yard bombs, and then just can't, play regular football. He has like backyard football type of vibes, which in my opinion, you just can't win championships like that. But, I mean, I guess you can because Patrick Mahomes pretty much does that same thing. But he can also do that. He can play in structure. He can play out of structure. I don't see Anthony Richardson, at least this season, scaring me in any way. Because he's just not that great of a quarterback as of now, so far. But I'm still picking the Colts because they are better on paper, in my opinion. Especially without Jordan Love, so I'm going with the Colts. Next one, Browns, Jaguars. Man, I don't know which one to pick. I mean, that Jaguars collapse at the end, that Travis Etienne fumble into the end zone. They controlled that game the whole time with the Dolphins, and they just blew it. And then on the other side, Deshaun Watson looks like one of the worst trades since Herschel Walker. Like, that is a horrible situation to be in if you're a Cleveland Browns fan. You hate the guy. Even if you don't believe it, he still seems like a shitty human. Apparently, he has even more sexual assault allegations coming out this week. And you paid him, $235 million guaranteed. 3 first-round draft picks. Like, This whole situation is just so messed up, and he hasn't shown one sign of how he used to be. He's literally a shell, a ghost of himself, and I think the outside noise is eating away at his head, and he just cannot play like he used to. I'm going with the Jaguars. I really think Deshaun Watson is a bottom 5 quarterback because he is nowhere near that like 2019, 2020 form of himself. Ever since this shit came out about him, he has been awful. I'm going with the Jaguars. All right, Jets, Titans. Good game, good game. Aaron Rodgers came out and didn't look the greatest. He had some good Aaron Rodgers-y throws, but just did not impress me like he did in Green Bay. Obviously, it's only game 1. He still has a lot of time. Just did not impress me. Like, I thought they were going to come up the gate at least putting up a fight against the 49ers, but the game wasn't even close. That defense also didn't look as good as I thought it would. I don't know which one I'm going with. You got the Jets versus the Titans. The Titans looked very, very good against the Bears, at least defensively. They looked good offensively at first when they gave Tony Pollard the ball, and then they stopped giving Tony Pollard the ball, and they made Will Levis throw it, and in throwing it, he threw away the game. Literally threw us the game. All right, next is a matchup that last took place in the playoffs. Buccaneers, Lions, very, very good matchup. The Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield probably had one of the best starts to his career, honestly, his best week 1s in his whole entire career. So I'm going to go with the Lions. I'm still going with the Lions. They're the better team, in my opinion. The Buccaneers are still going to be good. They're going to be playoff contenders this year. I think they're going to win the South over the Falcons because everyone hyped up the Falcons like it was crazy. But I'm going to go with the Lions. I think they are one of the best teams in football, and they are Super Bowl contenders, and they will start the season 2-0. All right, next up we got Raiders versus the Ravens. Not really going to take much time on this. The Ravens are the better team. Yes, they did not beat the Chiefs, but the Raiders are not the Chiefs. They have a very good defense. They got Christian Wilkins, Max Crosby, and stuff like that. The Ravens, they got Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers, Isaiah Likely had a huge game against the Chiefs. I'm going with the Ravens. Derrick Henry's going to have a bounce-back game. I'm not really going to think too much about it. So, Ravens win. All right, we got another divisional matchup here. We got Rams versus Cardinals. I actually have an upset. This is my upset of the week. I got the Cardinals winning their first game of the season. Yeah, I mean, I know. The Rams played good against the Lions. They did. They got Matthew Stafford, but Puka is out. Cooper Kupp may actually be back, but I really think the Cardinals with Marvin Harrison, he's going to have his first game with probably over 100, maybe 80 reception yards. Trey McBride's good. James Conner's good. Kyler Murray might be back to his pre-injury self, so I'm actually going to go with the Cardinals in this one. I think they'll win. Next up, we have the Bengals at Arrowhead. Not really much to talk about here either. I mean, the Bengals are their kryptonite, but in this situation, since it is week 2, if it was later in the season, maybe it would be a closer game, but the Chiefs are smoking hot right now, and the Bengals are ice cold. There's rumors going around that Joe Burrow has something wrong with his wrist. He had wrist surgery, and maybe it didn't go correct or didn't repair what actually needed to be repaired. Who knows? Who knows if that's true? Take that with a grain of salt. But I'm still going with the Chiefs. They are the better team. I think Travis Kelce, you can only contain him for so long. Pacheco, just all Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy they're all going to have a day at Arrowhead once again. So I'm going with the Chiefs. All right, next up is Steelers Broncos. I really was hoping that Russell Wilson was playing in this game because that would be absolutely hilarious, having Russell Wilson go to his new team and play his old team in week 2 after completely sucking and, probably going to get booed after he takes the field. But no, it sounds like Justin Fields is playing again. So as a Bears fan, I do want to see him play. I do want to see him succeed. And I think the Steelers, in Pittsburgh is probably one of the best places that he can succeed in. So I want to see him do good. Unfortunately, I mean, he didn't really play that great against the Falcons, but he did just enough to get the win. Here, this one's kind of hard to pick. This is probably the hardest one. I'm picking the Steelers because I think Fields is the better quarterback, and I think that they have a way better defense. You know, TJ Watt is already a contender for Defensive Player of the Year. He had a crazy week 1, and then I just think Justin Fields is just the better quarterback, so I'm going to pick the Steelers to win this one. All right, next up, we have my Chicago Bears taking on the Texans in Houston. Sunday Night Football. Caleb Williams had a terrible debut. I'm not scared to admit it. He had a very bad debut. He was not good whatsoever, but I think he will have a bounce back game in this game. Now, I am still picking the Texans to win this game, but I think it's going to be closer than what people think. I'm going to pick that the Texans win 27-24. I think they're going to win by at least a field goal, maybe a touchdown, but who knows? I think Caleb Williams throws for at least one touchdown, maybe even rushes for one touchdown, but in preseason and in the regular season, we have not even seen Caleb Williams throw a touchdown. We know that he can, but he hasn't even thrown for a touchdown, even in preseason. So I think he's going to bounce back. He's probably going to have around 200 yards, probably one touchdown, somewhere around there. He probably will have one pick. I'm expecting him to throw one bad interception because he still is a rookie, and we saw that in the first game. So I think we still lose this game, but Caleb Williams at least looks better than he did last game because you can't really look worse than that. And the Titans do have a good defense. The Texans don't have as good of a defense, but they're still pretty good. That's kind of that's where I'm at right now. And then our defense, it's going to be a good test for our defense. They got CJ Stroud, who already looks like a veteran in this league. You know, Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Joe Mixon. You name it, man. You want weapons, they got weapons. So it's going to be a good test for the Bears, but I do have them dropping this game and dropping to 1-1 on the season. And then we got Monday Night Football, last one of week 2. Falcons taking on the Eagles. They are again in prime time. This time they're in Philadelphia and not in Brazil. And I have the Eagles going in and beating the Falcons because the Falcons did not look good, man. They were hyped up all off season. Kirk Cousins coming off of this Achilles. I'm not ready to say it was a bad signing, but it wasn't a good start. It at least wasn't a good start. I think Kirk Cousins is still a very good quarterback, but coming in with all those weapons, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, Darnell Mooney, Drake London, coming in and just throwing and getting 10 points is just not enough, especially against a Steelers team that I thought was not very good coming into the season, and they didn't even get an offensive touchdown. So, for that reason, I think Kirk Cousins is going to play better in this game, but I think that Eagles offense, they just can't keep up with it, and they simply score more points than them, the Eagles. So I think they're going to it's going to be like 30-24 or something like that, Eagles. So I got the Eagles winning this game, and that does it for my picks for week 2. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good day.